Good evening, guys. This is Paula. We're back here. I'm back here to show you how the book is coming along. Now, I told you I would bind the book, do the stitching on the book, and I decided this book required some lace that was the same cream color as the book. Now, in order to do that, it was a hard book to bind, and that's why I decided. I also put fray stuff around the whole book so the fabric doesn't fray there. But it was a hard book to bind because it was, you know, it's a soft bound book. See, it just is fabric and batting and then more fabric. This was an old vintage, and you guys have heard me say this, some of you. This is an old vintage embroidery that a lady had done. There was a few places here that she didn't get finished. It actually had a needle in it. But I pulled it out. I decided to leave it like she had left it. And this was going to be to cover a pillow for maybe her sofa or something like that, because it was perfectly square. And because it was so big, it was a big pillow. This turned out 10 inches, 10 by 7 inches. Okay, and so this is the back and this is the front. And anyway, so I stitched it and got it all together and made a pocket. And it was some work to do that because it had some puckers in it, and I'm working those out. And then whenever I went to bind it, it was, I say, just put the paper inside. But I didn't have the right size. File folder is what I would normally use in one of these, but I didn't have the right size, and I didn't want to put cardstock because cardstock, I don't know what it does long term, but I just decided that I'd rather it be a soft. I'll just tell you right now, this thing is beautiful, if I have to say so myself. I'm like in love with it, and it's, you know, it's been fun. So we did the first video. I showed you everything that we were going to use in this book, and then we did the last video where we cut everything to size. I did have to go back after I started looking at it close. I did have to go back and kind of trim down some of the middle papers because, you know, some of the pages were pushing out from the center, and that's not uncommon. That happens in almost every book. So I inked all the pockets that's going to go on this. We're not going to do any of the tags in this video. We're just going to put on pockets and stuff like that. And then we're going to do some, I'm going to do a tag series. And during that tag series, some of the first ones that we will do will go into this book. Maybe. I have to think on that. If not, I'll make them off screen and we'll put them in. And that's really all it's going to lack, because it's like pretty much done. I did ink all the things that needed to be inked as far as that went. But I still have things to do on this one, and we'll do them together. Okay, so let's just start from the front and work our way back. I'm going to turn on this little fan. I hope it doesn't bother you. I have a loud enough mouth. I think we'll be okay. So I'm going to get out some different kinds of trims here to put maybe something under this flower. And on this page, I'm going to put this apricot dyed doily on here for the base of this library pocket. And I'm putting it on the first page on the inside because this is, you know, fabric, and I don't want to put it on the front. So I'm just going to put it on the first page inside. This one has adhesive, but it also has this cute little heart on it. So I think what we'll do is go ahead and glue the doily down first, and then we'll decide what we want to do next. I just want it to be in place before we glue the pocket on it. Now, I did ink the pocket. I'm not going to ink the doily because it stands out from the back of the page. And I'm going to put this in the center instead of at the bottom. I just like the way it looks. Okay, so I'm going to just do a circle of glue here in the middle. And then do each little dot in the actual doily itself. I hope you guys are having a good day. It rained like cats and dogs today. I guess we had some severe weather and I never even knew it. I slept right through it. What can I say? I was exhausted yesterday. Okay, here we go. We're going to just put it in the center. And hopefully we don't have anything leak out too much. You know, there's always a little bit. Anyway, so I combined two digitals. I did both digitals. They were both antique paperia, just so you know, on the digitals. Now, I want to put this pocket down. It has adhesive on the back. And so I'm just going to center it the best I can. Right here. Hopefully it's straight. Let me look. Yeah, it's good enough. And then the library card goes right in here. Now, I want to decorate the pocket. Why is it doing that? It's super tight for some reason. That's weird. Okay, now I want to put something on the background here. Now we've got yellow. I've got some pink. I don't know if it's the right pink. This is some old doily. But I don't think it's the pink I want. And then we have some blue, but we've got pink going on here. So I'm thinking we need something with pink in it. Doesn't have to be all pink. It can be multicolors. I'm digging through my doilies that I've been cutting to smithereens. So I have this napkin that I've been using for various things. How do you think that would look? The problem is we wouldn't get any pink in it because will this flower work? Yeah, we can get pink in there on one side. Do we want it on the side? No, because then the flower hangs off. If we put the pink at the bottom, we'll get most of it. So let's do that. Okay, let me get my little pencil out so I know exactly where to cut, or as close as I can be to where I need to cut. Okay, so this one goes there and there. Then up here, cut right here. And over here. And I can kind of see through it a tiny bit, and that helps. Okay, now I'm just going to take my sewing scissors that are to cut fabric, and I'm going to cut this. I'm not even going to try to, I got to find my little mark here. There it is. I'm not even going to try to worry about getting it perfectly straight because it's all right. I may have to trim some off as we go here. I go along working on this. Come on, hold still. Okay. All right. Let's see. We may have to put that away there. Now, let's see. The mark is right here. Come on, Paula. This thing keeps wanting to fold up on me. Don't ask me why. It just does. I think it's going to be a little bit wide. But you'd rather have a little too much than not enough, right? Okay, so I guess I left a pencil mark on here. Okay, so we can do it like this. We'd have to cut off this little bit of a ruffle or scalloped, or we can cut off at the top. So I think what we want to do is completely cover the bottom and let this scallop hang over. Okay, now I like the way this side looks. This side's a little crooked, and that works out great because I cut it a little crooked. What can I say? All right, so we got to cut a little bit more off here on this left side. Okay, so let's do that part before we start cutting everything. I just want to do a little bit at a time. And if we end up having a little bit of the actual card show, or the pocket show, that's okay. Now there we go. Now we do need to trim just a tiny bit at the top. Come on, be good to me here. Handkerchief. Can you imagine using a hanky instead of a Kleenex that you toss? Think we have problems now. But back then, that's all I ever saw my grandma. You know, she'd carry those old boogered up things. Okay, there we go. I think that's about as close as we're going to get. It may not be perfect, but that's all right. Okay, so I'm just going to put glue. I'm just going to kind of skip glue. I don't want it to be heavy. Okay, I just want it to be, you know, just streaks, not a lot of heaviness going on. I'm trying to do it very light. You're probably thinking, well, that's not light. It is. I'm not squeezing very much out. Okay. Now, let's see what happens. I'm going to start by doing this bottom part because I want to make sure that's all straight. And then we can go up. Looks like it's pretty straight, doesn't it? I mean, considering it's not perfect, but it does look better than I expected it to. All right, so that is what we've got going there. Now, what do we want to do? Do we want to add a, let me see where my little flowers are. I'm looking here. I'm digging. They may be in the other basket. Yeah, they are. Let me grab them. Now I have different colors. I don't want to put the flower like on the bouquet here. I just want to like put something down here. So I have yellow and red. We don't want either one. I don't have pink. I have green and blue, but the blue's not the right blue. So let me keep digging. I'll find something. Okay, I have these little flowers. I have these flowers. Yeah, so this one I don't want. Let's go with this kind of star-shaped one. I like it. And what we'll do is we'll just put it on here and we might end up adding something in the middle at some point. How's that? See, I like the way that looks. We might add a button or something that doesn't take up a lot of bulk in the book. Okay, if I can get comfortable. I'm just wrestling with this chair. It keeps rolling backwards. My husband came in and fixed my my mat is glass and it has a mind of its own. You'll just be sitting here and then you're rolling, or the mat scoots backwards as you're sitting, and then when you pull your chair up to the table, you fall off of the mat forward. Yeah, happens too much for my liking. Okay, so I think we'll do it like this. Hope it's all shaped right. See, I think that would look cute with a little button or something, right? Don't you think? So let's see. I'm going to get my little buttons out here and see what we got. All right. I'm into these little tins right now. I just love playing with them. Okay, so we have some buttons here. We have blue, two different blues. We have a darker blue and a lighter blue. Do we want to do the darker or the lighter? Let's see what looks best up against the flowers. So we've got this medium one, and that looks good. The lighter one is not the right blue, I can tell. Well, honestly, they're both not bad. Let's see what they look like on here. I think I like the lighter one, so let's do it. Now, mind you, these are small buttons, but I gotta tell you, I bought all these little buttons, and I just love them. This other one has mostly primary colors. Isn't that just a whole lot of sweetness? I get tired of buying, I really like this size because it's flat and they're easy to do in this particular, oh my goodness. Let me grab my little crochet. There we go. And what we're going to do is just tie a little knot and then glue it down. And that should be finished at that point. So what I do is I just go up one side, pull it through, and then go back up the other side from behind, or underneath, I guess. These buttons are so tiny that it's not as easy as you think to hold on to them, to string them and do that at the same time. Come on, little guy. So another way you can do it, and I think I'll do that since it's so small, is you go up through the bottom, through one hole, and down with the same thread on the other side. And you can let that side be the front because both sides look the same with these buttons. So there's not a wrong way, really. I tie a little double knot. Got glue sticking on my fingers. Sorry. Listen, my hands never look good anymore. I've decided that's what happens when you're a crafter. They just don't look good. Okay, and I always cut them as close as I can to the button. That way I know, you know, it'll look better. Okay, so we're not going to have a whole lot. Let me get my wipey here. Get this big wad of glue off my bottle. And I'm just going to put a little thing of glue right in the center of this doily that's been cut apart. I don't know why this is taking forever to come out. There it goes. But it did not want to. I don't know, this bottle's been weird. Never know what you can expect from them. Okay, so you put it in the very middle, hold it, because it's going to want to come up with your finger. It doesn't act like it wants to stick. They must need more glue underneath. Yeah, that's what it is. It went down into a hole. So we'll just do it again. Yeah, that's better. So I think this part's looking really nice. I'm going to see here what washi I have out. I don't have anything that will look like it's appropriate. That's green. And that's okay. We don't have to put any on there. I just thought if I had some. I think this is good. You put your name here. And yeah, I think that turned out cute. What do you think? Okay, so now we're moving on. And we're just going to go from page to page. But you're going to get an idea of what this looks like you know, before I do the flip through. And that's one reason I didn't want you to do the tags for this. I want something to be a surprise in the flip through. So we're going to move on here. Try not to move that. Now, I like these little pink flowers, and I already, I think I'm going to do them just like that. Now, I may still go back and do some stenciling, but right now, I'm just going to do, I'm going to glue these little flowers down, and then we're going to do some stenciling either in the next video or maybe a third. I doubt there'll be more than one more, except for the flip through. We'll see. I have to see how it goes. So there's not a lot of red flowers in this book. So I'm just kind of, these are pink. These aren't red. I think they're kind of in between. Okay, let's see which direction they need to go. And I'm putting them over here opposite of this zigzag line, because I kind of like to spread them out, make it look more like a layout. See, there we go. No, none of it's seeping out that I can tell. Okay. All right. All right, so we're going to go over to the next page. We're just going to flip through here as we're looking for the next one. I put everything in where I wanted it to go, except for a couple things we still need to make. Now, this was a square journaling card. I'm going to show you one similar. Let me get it here. Got to get my hands on it. Oh, where did they go? Oh, my goodness. I just had them here. Oh, there they are, right in my face. Okay. Now, like these are, these were this size to start with, okay? And I just looked at where the image was on this lower left side, and there was just nothing but the scalloped on this side. So I folded it under, and I just took it like this and folded it under. It depends on which one you're using. Some of them have stuff all around them. But I cut off the back here and just I glued that down, and then I inked it. And so it's kind of like the old pockets we used to make out of book pages. And all I had to do, you know, those journaling cards are just way too big. So rather than waste them, I just think we should glue them in. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm just going to start up here. And just go straight down. Now, these are pretty big, but I really like the way that they're looking. They're looking pretty good. Okay. That was a crooked line. Now, I want to get that little bit right there that kind of came out on its own. Okay. I finally got my new adhesive glue remover. That's what I call it. Basically adhesive. It was initially made to work with the Xyron when you get sticky on the front of something. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put it in this left corner. This book is so big, I keep kind of looking to make sure you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just buttoning it up to the very closest edge. The close to the edge. Okay. Let's go here. All right. And we'll come back and we'll put tags or something in this pocket right here once this all dries really nicely. Okay, so we flipped this page, which is part of the digital that we chose. It was number 1. I also put number 2, half a number 2 and half a number 1 in here. And yes, I'm not talking about bathroom. I'm talking about 1 and 2 in a contest. I'm sorry. I'm just being goofy. Now this, I haven't decided on the pockets yet, so we'll pass on those right now. Now, is this not a beautiful bird? And he is flying. He is sitting on the branch of this beautiful tree in the background. I think it's hydrangeas. Is that what they're called? I can't listen. I don't know my flowers. I just know basic daisies and sunflowers and roses. Pretty much that's it. So I'm guessing. This looks like a robin. Again, don't take me for my word when it comes to anything outdoors. I never have really been into any kind of outdoorsy stuff. And I did learn, you know, the basics about it in whatever class it would have been. It's just, I never had a big interest for it. But I will tell you this. I love birds and I love butterflies. And I love flowers. So, you know, outside of that, those are probably my favorite things. So this was a journal card that had no other side, which I thought was interesting. And it worked out perfect for this because look, it's going to fit just perfect in here. These are flat pockets, but listen, what did we do before we didn't have flat pockets, right? We're going to have some dimensional ones too. Okay, there we go. This one has a couple little 3 little butterflies and a ladybug. I think ladybugs are cute too. You don't see a lot of pictures of ladybugs, but so we're going on. Here is one that was the same thing. See, it was like this. And that middle section looks like a piece of pizza. That was still part of the journal. But I decided to make this a tag and this a thinner pocket. So it works the same way. It just is not as wide. So you probably can't put as many tags in there as you could. For some reason, it squirted out a lot bigger than I wanted it to. So I'm going to go through here and rub this down. I don't want it going everywhere. So I'm going to get that big blob off right there. Yeah, my glue has decided to start volcanoing. It is plummeting. It is crazy right now. So we'll rub this down so it doesn't spread out too much. Maybe. Okay. So we're going to put this right in here. Now, I'm going to put it as close as I can to the sides. These have been attaching really nicely. So my husband's been working at home. Tomorrow is Friday, and 1 week from tomorrow he retires. So it's getting really close, and you might as well say he's retired because he's at home. Now, I don't bother him. He does actually work. He's really an honest person. So there's no way he wouldn't come home and work, you know. And actually, I had to tell him at 5:30, you know, you're off the clock. I used to tell him if he didn't call me and let me know why he was going to be late, and it was 30 minutes later, I was going to be upset with him because I'd worry about him on that crazy expressway. And he would tell me, okay, I'm sorry. And that would work for a few months, and then he'd forget to call again. So today it was 5:30. He said, I'm sorry, I forgot to call. I said, you're so funny. He normally is not a comedian, but he is a very quiet person. Everybody has always said I talk enough for him and I both. But he's a very quiet person, and when he laughs, you can never hear him laughing. He literally is so silent. Now, I'm going to put this to the side and work on it when I do text. But see, now that has a completely different look. I was going to show you this. This is this. Only this time I bought a different brand, and I like the first one better, which was this. So it'd be real floppy at first. So it's by Xyron. Adhesive Eraser is what it's called. So I got this for like $4 on Amazon. So I don't know if they're normally that cheap. You know how Amazon runs those little specials. So, okay, so I didn't get this. Oh, I did ink it. I started to say, I thought, so these dies that I bought, they can be put in a traveler's notebook or any journal really, or they have these to make pockets. So you can do it either way. I think I'm going to put it over here though. So I'm going to put glue around, this thing. You could put glue around each edge here. That's why I was saying earlier, God's not in this video, but I was talking about it in another video, that, you know, we just have to have faith that everything's going to be okay, and that I guess now they're finding some drugs that my daughter texted me and said, Mom, I've heard several times today that they're going to use some drugs, and I think you're on one of them. It was my joint medicine. And I said, yeah, I am. And she said, do you have plenty? Because you don't want it to run out. I said, yes, honey. I've got plenty. I just got a bottle this week to last me for 3 months. But she has really stayed on top of me, making sure I take care of myself. That's what a good daughter does. She watches after her mama. She's a smart little thing. Man, that just came rolling out of nowhere. So I'm thinking I might have to clip this one down, but I'm going to see how it does first. All right. And I don't think I need a clip. I think it's doing okay. I just don't want it to have glue hanging out the sides here, because that also will cause the pages to stick. Just when I'm getting the glue on there the right way, it starts volcanoing. Makes me crazy. Okay, I think I got that one. Still a little bit, but man, I've had my sleep has been so erratic. I don't know when I'm sleeping and when I'm not sleeping. I know that sounds silly, but it's true. Trying to turn this around so you can see. I'm just getting the glue off. It's not anything exciting, but there's a big wad over here of glue. So when I was binding this book today, I'll just tell you, if you do a flat, not a flat, but a book that is kind of just floppy, I guess is what I'd call it. It's harder to bind the book, you know, keep everything from pulling and tucking, and it was a nightmare. I had to take it apart 3 or 4 times to get it, finally get it where I wanted it. Okay, so that pocket turned out nice. In this pocket, we'll want to have multiple tags because it's definitely gonna hold a whole lot more. Okay, here we go. So we're flipping along here. Now, I like the bright yellow, and I want to take this yellow and put over here just because it looks good across from each other. I did ink this, but it's, I had to take the ink off the first time because it was just, the ink went crazy. Made it lots darker than I wanted it. Well, I re-inked it sometime this last week, and it has a tendency to, the one thing people are doing is complaining about their ink or their glue. At least that's what I do. I want to welcome all the new subbies I got this week. Thank you very, very much. I hope you enjoy the channel. Have any questions, you can ask them below the videos. And yeah, let me wipe this down a little bit. It's going to go everywhere if I don't. Yeah, there we go. Some of these flowers I didn't fussy cut. This one, for example, it was a part of a pack of flowers that I bought on Etsy back when people first started fussy cutting. This person really left big lines around the image. I'm one of those that wants to get as close as possible. So there's that. Let me show you. I think that looks good. I love this yellow up against this yellow garden. I just think it looks so pretty. Now, this here is part of a garden book. And it, you know, I'm not crazy about the colors mixed in around these. And I had thought that maybe we could cut this down to be this size. I don't know if it would fit or not, but let's try and see. We'll just try it. We'll just see what happens. Okay. So I'm going to put it about, I'm going to take about a ½ inch off right here. And it might take more than that. And let's see, what do we want to take off over here? I think a ½ inch would be too much, but let me see what it looks like. Nope, too much. It's going to cut the end of the thing off. End of that little tag would be cut off. The main thing is that it fits the page. And we won't glue that down now unless it's perfect. Okay, so I think we'll leave that longer. We'll see what it looks like. I just want it to cover. Yeah, see, I like that. So let's put a little bit of ink on there because I inked everything else. So we might as well make it a pocket of some sort, don't you think? I'm trying to think what. It has a tag on the front. But if we cut the tag out, we don't have this cool pocket. Or just, I was just going to cut it out and let it be on this page. Kind of like this. Take it to the top where the just give a little bit of white line and do it like this. Or I can bring it down and make the side and the top be the same. I think I like that better. I'm thinking we could do a side pocket. But if we do that, we need to bring it up. You know what I mean? Pretty close. What do you think? Which means then we want to do the side. But I really want to cover this. So we're going to make it a far off pocket right there. Okay. And, you know, if whoever has this book wants to use it that way, they can. Or they don't have to. They can just store, you know, money, whatever they want to store in their journal. So Charlie's birthday gift came in today. We haven't got to see him yet. And I told his mom, I said, it doesn't look too exciting because I let her send me a link and I just purchased it. It was binoculars and the Ryan's sheets and comforter. Ryan's World or something. I forget exactly what it's called. But we're going to go ahead and take this all the way over here into this area as best we can. I want them to be the same on the end. Okay, that works. Gonna have a couple little cracks here on the side, but that'll be okay. This is a fun book. I've had fun with it all day. You know, it took forever to bind it. I tied 4 knots in the middle because it's a big book and it wobbles around and I didn't want it to come undone. And so I wanted it to be secure. So my daughter took Charlie to see his teacher. He's going to be changing teachers whenever they can go back to school. He went to Cincinnati and saw like 7 people, 7 doctors. Plus he had his surgery to take his medical port out, which is basically what they use to give him a lot of different medications and to draw blood and so forth. And they did draw blood. But they called the kids from Cincinnati and told them that they don't want Charlie going to school until further notice. And so, you know, we'll just have to see. So she's going to homeschool them for the rest of the year so they don't have to go back. Look at this vellum flower. It's got a rosebud and then it just got some flowers and some greenery. I thought this would be great as a pocket, but I wanted it to be a pocket on that side so we could have this little flap down. And I don't know, I just thought it would be cute. It's just barely fitting on this page, just barely. So that's what we're going to do is I'm going to glue all the way around the front part of this envelope. So that when you slide in your journaling card or whatever, it ends up fitting perfect and not bumping on anything or snagging anything and pulling it up. Do you know what I mean? I think you do. I don't like it when it grabs something and bends over a corner or something. Then you can't get your stuff into the pocket. It's a nightmare. Okay, now I'm going to lay this paper down. This paper is what I used to ink. And I'm trying to get off this excess glue. I went ahead, see, here's the front of the envelope. I went ahead on all of this section and I put glue on it. So that when I put it down, they can go this way to get the the pocket open. But we're going to do it down here. I just flipped the flap over is what I did. Get in there. It's trying to go off the page. There we go. I was just trying to do some different things in this book. I tell you, I'm in love with this book. You know, I spent more on this book than I should have. But it was so pretty. I mean, I used a lot of lace on here. And then just the pillow square that was completely embroidered. You know, I had to pay a little extra for that at the vintage place. But that's all right. I liked it. You know how it is when you like something. When you like it, you're going to get it, right? Okay, I'm going to leave this down. And I'm going to glue it down so it's not pulled back and forth. Because if it is, it's going to tear it. Because it's so pushed up against the spine that it doesn't have anywhere else to go. So we'll see. Hopefully that will stay down. Yeah, it's already trying to tear, so let me get another piece of, I just stuck my finger right in that glue. I mean, like in the middle of it. So I got it all over me. Okay, now, I know what I did now because there's a big old blob right there on the outside. You know, not much has been going on in my life. I mean, to have a lot of conversations, what I mean. You know, I don't have a whole lot that's going on to even tell you guys, except I do have a good friend that I have over once a week, and we craft, and we've been just having a really good time, and it does help with the insanity of being at home a lot, you know. Because my joints hurting like they do. I can't really do a lot of walking, like to go shopping. And now with my hip, I really can't at this time. But I will be. As soon as I get the other hip fixed, I'm going to be all over the place. Hopefully. I want to speak it. It is going to happen. This vellum envelope is so, like, you can't even hardly see where it flips down. If you didn't know it, I'll probably have to use some pen on it and outline it or doodle on it or something. Yeah, it just got glue everywhere. Or I did, I guess. Sorry, you guys. I normally try not to have a lot of glue, but I feel like this is the first time I've had this much problem in a long time. And I know a lot of people don't do this to their books, but I don't like them to be all. I'm too much of a perfectionist. It drives me crazy if you know, everything's not perfect. Especially with big globs of glue, right? Okay, so this is down. And what I'll do is I'll come back. Let me see if I have a permanent marker that is handy. I don't right now. Well, I'm going to go back and do some doodling so that you know that that is top of a envelope. Okay, now that I have glue everywhere, look at this little finch. Isn't he pretty? I think that's what he is. I'm almost positive I read that somewhere. He is so cute. I don't like the back of this magazine because the bird's head's cut off. So this is going to be a different kind of journaling card. It's going to be actually not even a journaling card. I think I'm going to make it like a tall tag. So I'm going to put it all the way up. I think I will punch. Let me find I just had that punch. There it is. I'm going to punch a circle at the top so that it's, you know, it looks better. And try to get it even on both sides, which is not all that easy. There we go. I had already glued that, but inked it, so I'm going to go ahead and ink it a little bit right there. Bloom. It says bloom, grow, blossom. My granddaughter's, her name is Lucy Bloom. And so I just think that's an adorable name. Of course, I'm a grandmother that thinks that, but I just do think it's so precious. Now, you got to watch because there's different layers of papers. So not all of this. I guess I should bring it down a little bit so it's easier for them to see. And just cover the picture. That's what I'm going to do. All right, here we go. Keep your fingers crossed that I can get through it without the glue acting crazy. It's already acting crazy. It's like you try to get your glue out and it just stays. Okay. Once again. Yeah. So this is going to end up being a top-loading big pocket. So most likely we'll have to make big tags for this, which are really in. People are making them all different sizes. Okay, let's get some of that on this side off. That off right there. I've gotten where I just take the big clunks off. That just really does make a difference. Still doesn't help that much, but I think sometimes you'll be going along and it just pours. Crazy. Okay, I'm going to cover this picture. Make sure it gets covered on both sides. And I believe that is the top of the pocket right there. Yes. I can't believe I got it that close. Ah, what do you know? Paula got it right. Alrighty, that one's down nice. I can't believe that my husband is going to be home from now on. It just sounds weird, and I know it's going to feel weird. I'm excited, but what's he going to do? He did buy him a lawnmower and a weed eater. He says he's going to do that. He decides to mow his yard now that he's 67. Yeah, he will be 67 on Friday when he retires. So where did that go? I got to come up with this book here. Excuse me while I go over here and try to figure out why this particular page moved, which is weird. I got to find it first. I thought it was, okay, it's not that far back. It's right here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it just wobbled right over for some reason. I'll have to see what the deal is. I'll figure it out later. It may be because I was pulling on that. Now I got to find where I left it. Let's see. Should be back in here somewhere. Doesn't go very fast gluing this stuff in. That's why I got it all ready ahead of time, because I knew there's no telling how it will end up if I don't. We wouldn't get anything done. This was a more challenging, there we go. Isn't that pretty? I just feel like it needs some dimension. So I might have to figure out something to do to that. All right, so we're moving along, or we're not going to get them done. I have 2 postcards in this book that are floral, and I ordered a box. They're called a box of floral postcards. Or you can do birds, or you can do butterflies. You can do different. No, I wasn't able to find butterflies. So I'm going to make this a tall tag. Not just tall enough to hold a tall tag. Speak right, Paula. Okay. Come on. All right. So I'm just going to put this. This to me looked really good with the digital. It has the 2 colors. There are actually 3 colors in it that's in this postcard also. So we'll have to do like a skinny tag, or a, you know, maybe like a, oh, what are they called? Time cards, only cut down. They'll be too big actually. So we'd have to do something smaller than that. Okay, we have about 5 more minutes. Can you believe that? This goes so fast. Okay. All right, this is a fun one. Let's do this one next. I fussy cut this out of one of these. This is going to be the journaling card that goes like this, and this is going to be a side tuck. So let's just see how it works, because, you know, you never know. I'm going to clean off that glue first, because it would be a mess. And I'm putting it on this avocado dyed paper. I ordered a bunch of that, and I'm almost out. But I really did enjoy having it. I hoarded it. I used it a little bit at a time. Okay, so we're going to put this on here, and I'm going to do it right as close to the center as I can and all the way up to the edge. And I didn't stitch this so it would look more natural, but I'm rubbing to make sure it's staying down well. And it feels like it is. No excessive glue there. And when this dries, this will slide up under there like that. Only we'll be able to push it closer, okay? So that one is done. Maybe we'll get one more done. And I just thought it looked really good with this paper. I just liked the way it turned out. Here was the first one of these big square cards that I decided to fold under. And as you see, this is a much bigger one. But I wanted the whole image. And so that's how that ended up happening. Okay, go across the bottom. Let's see, I don't want to go across that top portion. Okay. So go right there. Okay, let me clean off the excess. Okay. This is such a pretty image on this journaling card. Now pocket. Journaling card, now pocket. Okay, and I'm going to put it all the way over so it'll look pretty in this corner. I had to actually cut some places, cut it a little shorter. You can't tell it really. All right, that's done. No glue hanging out. So we're going to do this flower kind of like we did the one before. We're going to kind of put it over here and kind of bring some color to both sides. It's a simple thing to do. I fussy cut flowers, and I have fussy cut so many. Just saying. It's a lot of work. At first it was a lot of fun. Now it's a lot of work. Because I have to keep my face down in that, down inside the goggle things they have for you to wear. It's not fun. Okay, now I have some big spots I know I got to get. That's one of them. These are going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. Let's see. Okay, let's see what happens. Now that I've put 10 tons of glue on here. Let's see. It just started flowing out of there. Okay, here we go. Last page. Put it right like that. After this book is finished, I'm going to be doing my tag series. And so there won't be a book during that time. I just won't be able to do both. All right. Looks like I didn't get much glue anywhere. Maybe a little there. It's hard when it gets around those edges of those flowers. And right here's a little bit. That looks fine. All right. All right, guys. I hope you had fun today. This book, we're not even, yeah. So I don't want to bore you with doing the rest of the pockets. It's pretty much just repetitive for you. And I might come back and we can do some tags. And that won't be part of the tag series. All right, guys. Thanks to the new subscribers. I'm so happy that you have joined us. So welcome. Thank you for my original subscribers who have stuck it out with me through thick and thin. And I appreciate you all. All right, guys. I love you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.